Welcome, Debby Miller from Colorado Springs. We met 13 months ago, not that long ago, and you attended a seminar of mine in Phoenix, Arizona. And what we want is the story, right? So we know you've been doing some amazing things. You've been keeping us updated, and you've been working with our team in San Diego as well. But I'd like to know, before we actually met and before you started engaging with Paladix, give us a summary of what this business used to look like pre 13 months ago.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for taking time with me today. It's always great to see you wherever in the world you are. Before we met, we started this business in 1987. I say we, it was me, all alone. We grew it to 11 team members. We were making $850,000 gross revenue, but we were only netting 120 before salary. So all the money was pretty much going to overhead. I foolishly thought I was doing very well because, you leverage yourself and you leverage your time, and we got a better car and we got a better house. We went on better trips, but most everything was going to overhead. My accounts receivable was crazy through the roof, 130,000 the day before I met you. I thought I was happy. I wasn't unhappy. I felt, though, in my heart that there was more out there for me. And I've always kind of been a rebel. I'd never really have ever done anything the way other people do things. And I part of me thought, well, maybe that's why I'm not making any money. And I also felt very much alone. I don't have any partners. I had people who work for me, and in the past, a lot of times my employees that I had who don't work for me anymore came to be yes men, right? So I'd ask their opinion and they would tell me what they thought that I wanted to hear. And when I'd say, what do you think of this client? And they'd say, oh, they're awesome. And then I'd fire them for one reason or another, and they would say, oh, thank God you fired them. So I felt like I had a team behind me. And so when your postcard came saying, are you making $1 million? I went, no, I'm not. Am I supposed to be? I think I need to go down there. And I took one of my accountants with me, Shauna, and I said, I'm bringing you with me because I don't want you to let me buy anything. I don't know this guy. He's from Australia. Who knows what this could be?
Sure.
But I ended up signing up on the spot.
So let's just a few more questions around what it used to look like, and it's been an awesome 13-month journey, which we'll get into. Tell me, you've been in business a long time. You said you're a bit lonely. Very much reliant on you by the sound of it. Tell me about the busyness of the business and what was it like, as far as tax season and the clients you're serving, and the overall the busyness of the business and the culture of the business as well.
Well, I was really targeting startup businesses. I'm the daughter of 2 elementary school teachers. So one thing that has always been really easy for me is explaining things. And so I started out targeting startup businesses. And so we did a lot of training. We had a lot of businesses fall out because, 1 out of 5 doesn't make it the first couple years. And so I felt like we were spinning our wheels a lot. We took on a lot of low-end work. Our model was completely backwards from what it is now, but I felt like this is our model. We're going to give you $100,000 accounting service for $1,000, right? And people were beating the door down. I mean, we never had any problem getting people through the door. But what I was finding as time went on, that we were running out of time. We didn't have enough capacity to do all of that work. And sometimes the smallest paying client has the biggest voice. That's the nice politically correct way to say it. And they take more of your time than the ones that make you more money. Everybody was very busy. They were always telling me, we're so busy, we're so busy, we're so busy. We didn't have any good processes in place. So things weren't being done consistently the same way every time. And a lot of clients would say, I really liked it when you did it last year for me, I'd like you to be my accountant, not so-and-so. And so that happened and made me have more time that I had to work. And before you knew it, I was putting in, 16-hour days during tax season. And luckily I have a great husband who supports me 100%, but you don't see each other very often. And
so the summary of that, because I'm super excited about where we're getting to now, which is going to be what it looks like now. This was a 11-person, 850,000 revenue business, making 120, super busy, working your tail off, all year round, particularly during tax season, and really, trying to please all. And not that effective as a business, but you're busy as, right? So let's fast forward 13 months later. And what does it look like? This is a much better story now.
It's way more fun.
What does it now look like in metrics and in style 13 months later?
Well, our revenue is up 45%.
Right.
Our profit is up 150%.
Wow. Awesome.
So our average hourly rate, which I never tracked that before, is up 20%. It's still low. I mean, we're at about 98, and I'd like to be at 200. We have 14 people. Everybody has a great positive attitude. My attitude, except for this morning, I was a little stressed because of our interview. I always get very nervous. But my attitude is completely different. My husband, who we've been married for 35 years, said, I've never seen you so excited about your business as you have been these last 13 months. I still work long hours, so we have some places to go with that to fix that problem. But the fact that everybody's making money, everybody's having fun. We've changed our model quite a bit. We don't target startups anymore. They're welcome to come, but we're not $100,000 service for $1,000 anymore. We're more like $100,000 service for $50,000. You're still getting half off, so that's great. Startups don't usually. I haven't implemented my sales strategies yet. We've been spending these last 13 months with a massive overhaul of the business, implementing like crazy. But we're having fun and it's exciting.
Well, this is a journey, and our process, which we'll get into in a bit as to what you've been doing, is very much like an MBA for an accounting business, right? As you've discovered, Debbie, you've been at this for just over a year. You've got some significant wins, but there's a long ways to go, as you know. So, we've got revenue up 45%. We've got profit up, more than double, 150%, which is great. We've got, I believe you told me your write-offs, you're now into write-on territory as well. You've stopped giving work away and discounting. Is that the case?
Yes, we don't discount at all. It's not 100% perfect. We're training our team to follow the new process of price up front, collect up front, and they're still learning the mindset of, old accountants' mindset is, let me please you first, and then hopefully you'll pay me.
Yeah.
And now, and so they still have that mindset a little bit, but we're trying to cut that out completely. And the people that see the value in what we do pay and stay. The people who don't, they go and they free up our capacity to bring on people who do see the value in what we do.
Awesome. So the best part about this, okay, we've got some metrics going really well in the right directions, but I think the best part is what your husband said to you, that he's never seen you so happy, in all these years of being together for business. So that ultimately that's the super bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and I think it's true. I mean, I'm always been an early morning person, but not just the last 13 months. Well, yeah, the last 13 months. I've really gotten up and just bounded out of bed and just been jump right onto my Learning Hub lessons and say good morning to Rob and say good morning to Colin and it's very, very exciting. And I come into work and I'm very enthusiastic and smiley and I think that is contagious. A lot of, I don't drink coffee, so it's all real.
Awesome. All righty.
Yeah.
So now this is what everyone wants to know, right? Which is, so what have you been doing, right, to get this transformation? Give us some of the big projects that you've knocked off, the how, if you like, because the how is the devil's in the detail. You mentioned Learning Hub, you mentioned exercises. What have you been doing to get this initial transformation?
Well, when I went to Kickstart the first time in Chicago, I came home with, I think, about 25 pages of to-do.
Right.
And and a pretty small scorecard of my business assessment, which gave me more to-do lists. So we've implemented everything. We do huddles every day at 4:37 p.m. We have 3 offices. We have a whiteboard in every office. We're working with our CSC. We do weekly staff meetings where we talk about the numbers and we do a little bit of training. We have quarterly themes. We have fun days. Our theme last quarter was based on transforming yourself. And so I took I have only women who work for me, unfortunately, but we went out for manicures and pedicures and drank wine and had a great time. So everybody loved that. We do 100% price up front based on value, not on hourly rate. We collect up front. We have 3 standard levels of pricing for compliance work. We have a documented perfect client with this beautiful man cut out on the plan with no head because, we're all women, but whatever. But that's our perfect client, right? Because that's part of it, right? You enjoy seeing that client every time they come in. Let's see what else. We've done trust.
The list is getting longer, which is great.
Trust, elevate, magnify. All our cloud clients are linked to Panalytics. We have we had probably 2% of our client base on cloud before we started with Panalytics, and now we're at about 70.
Wow.
So not quite at 100. Learning Hub, consistently, I've probably watched at least half of the Learning Hub videos, auto billing, auto pay, everything you've ever told us to do, we've done.
Wow.
So
wow.
It works.
It
I'm proving you right.
You definitely are. And this is consistent, Debbie, where, when you put the effort in, because this is a process and it is not, as it is not a silver bullet where, you attend one workshop or you just sign up or whatever it is and bam, it's done. It is a consistent approach, right? And so talk us through, some of there's a big laundry list that you just mentioned there of the things that you've been doing, and many strategies, many techniques, if you like. Some of them are short, some of them are long. And I know you've overhauled your workflow as well, and be excited about tax season coming up in the next year. But I'm interested to know, on a couple of fronts and people, how did your team react to this? For buy-in and engagement, and how did your clients react to this as well on the changes that you've made?
Well, that was a very interesting, traumatic experience for me. And I had to put up a sign on my monitor that said, trust the process, because I have to keep reminding myself that. We came back from Kickstart. I took 3 people with me. And of course, anytime your boss goes to a seminar, there's this scaredness of the staff when you come back, right? Always. But I rolled it out to the team and immediately had to free up 2 people's future. They were not on board, didn't want anything to do with it, didn't believe anything I was saying. And I said, it's fine. We just let them go. Brought on 2 more people. And so I think the fact that I freed up 2 people's future a little freaked people out a little bit that work here. But I I consistently nurtured them that this was all going to be good and that these were the goals that we had set as a team and that we wanted them to be a part of it. And we already had a very good culture here of openness and honesty. And I improved the culture, I believe, by engaging them and being more transparent with our numbers. I was always very secretive about those things before. So that was good. Customer wise, the biggest thing that we did when we first came back from the seminar in Phoenix, the first one, was we did a price increase right across the board. And so we lost all the cheapies because they didn't want to pay more. And that's okay, because the more people we lost at the low rate gave us more time to do things with people that paid a higher rate. We nailed that down, and then we started a completely new pricing structure for all the old people of auto pay. So instead of waiting till all the work was done and paying, we changed it to splitting their bill up over a 12-month period. And we probably lost another 10, 15% of our client numbers. But since that time, we've brought in almost just as many people at a much higher rate. They have a different outlook. They expect different things. We like working with them. We want to work with them. And so everybody's happy. We did find we have two huge wins. One, when we made all these changes, I rolled them out to who I thought was our best client. And he was so excited about it that he took us on as his outsourced CFO. And we increased his billing rate from $200 a month to $3,500 a month. So that was our very first big win. And it was a big relief for me because it was the first person I rolled everything out to. And he jumped at it. So I was like, oh, this is easy. It's kind of like, I thought it was easy, and it gave me a lot of confidence, but it really nailed home the things that we had been learning and we had been taught, that it does work if you position it correctly. And then my second big win was very shortly after that. We run an ad on Craigslist, which is a notorious, I don't even think they have it in any other country, but it's a internet based want ads type place where people sell things. And you typically would think, if you're going to hire a professional out there, there's somebody working out of their bedroom and they're going to be cheap. So this builder came and he found me on Craigslist, and thinking he was finding a cheap little accountant, and we turned him into quite a large client as well. So we were able to show him our value and how we could help them grow, and we don't look like little cheapy accountants when you walk in our office. So that's good.
So Debbie, the team, once you let a couple go who didn't believe, send a message to the team, more transparency. You've had them involved in our e-learning process through Learning Hub. You've had them at a couple of our events over the last 13 months as well. Clients, you lost a few, but that's typical because you've changed the process from price in arrears to price up front and collect up front rather than collecting arrears. That's inevitable, but by and large, you've got better quality people and better quality clients. What about you, right? So you come along, you meet me initially, and then you meet our team and you start working with us. What were some of your, blockages, if you like, on what you thought might be difficult, but turned out not being so difficult, right? So, like you might have heard something go, oh, I'm not too sure about that, and then you've done it. Oh, that wasn't so hard, right? What were some of your personal blockages?
Well, the first one was showing my numbers to my team.
Mm-hmm.
I was deathly afraid of doing that, and I think I told you that the very first day I met you, because you're like, hey, you got to be transparent. I'm like, I don't know about this. But so that was the biggest one for me, was letting go of that and realizing that, everybody is part of this, so they deserve to understand. And I deserve to make the lion's share because I took all the risk and I built this and I'm doing all of these things for them. So that was probably my biggest thing. Secondly, I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to still be me. I thought I might have to change who I was and how I acted. I'm a flip-flop girl, so if it's not 40 degrees or below, I'm wearing, flip-flops. I think you guys call them slippers.
We just to say, in Australia, you'll laugh at this. In New Zealand, they call a jandal, right?
Uh-huh.
In Australia, we call them a thong. So
a thong, okay. Well, a thong is very different.
I know. It's a thong. So if you think about it, it's a thong for your feet.
That's true. It is a thong for your feet. So I was kind of afraid that I would have to change who I was, but I decided that I'm a good person, and if I'm genuine in what I say and I'm genuine in how I'm presenting myself and I'm not putting on airs, I may not get the guy who expects me to be wearing, $100 or $500 suit. I may not get him as a client, but chances are I probably won't get along with him very well anyway, because at some point he's going to see my flip-flops and wonder what's wrong with me. So that was a big hurdle for me as well. And who knows, I can be a chameleon if I need to be a chameleon, but I'd rather stay true to myself. Let's see, is there anything else? And I wonder if you have something particular in mind.
No. Actually, we've had a lot of conversations the last 13 months. So I've never asked you that question. And the reason I asked you that question is because a lot of new partners to this process start this chatter going on. What will my clients think? Can I do this? Is it possible? All these stories sound great, but and it's this inner belief, that what Paleolitics want me to do is just seems so out of the ordinary. Will that work for me? And so I was interested to know what was it for you, which was those particular blockages.
Yeah, I think every day I think those things. I have this little guy over here telling me that, and this other guy going, "Hey, you're great, Debbie. Go, Debbie." So, but I do sometimes. I wonder how I could possibly tell you something you don't already know, and then I open my mouth and something brilliant comes out, and I go, "Wow, I guess I do know what I'm doing." So that's good.
So where to from here? We're 13 months into the process. You've been working with our team in San Diego. You've been working through our e-learning courses, which we new ones every month. There's a lot there to consume. You're using our technology, which is great. Take it out 3 years. Where do you see this firm in the next 3 years? So a total 4-year journey.
Okay. So 3 years from now, we will have profit at over $1 million. And we will have 0 accounts receivable, 10-day or less WIP. We will have no new team members because I truly believe, and I think that your team has convinced me that I have plenty. If we're working efficiently, we've freed up enough capacity that we shouldn't have to add anybody else, which means everybody will grow. My junior accountants will be only doing bookkeeping and payroll and such, and my seniors will be checking their work and delivering business advisory services. I myself will not work 16 hours a day. I'll be playing more golf and helping develop my team. I'll be working for probably a few select larger clients who deserve me, so to speak. And I want to offer some seminars. I'll probably be teaching more seminars, but not for free anymore, because we don't do things for free. We zip it. We don't give it away anymore. But I would like, I think I have a lot to say to a lot of different industries, and those market niches, they need somebody who's a good, solid person with a good, solid company. I've laid out kind of a plan for the next 100 days. that I can't talk about yet, but hopefully 2018 will be stellar.
You know, Debbie, as you mentioned about the 14 people and the $1 million profit, a couple of days back, I sat down with a firm we've been working with for now about 10 years or so. And when I first met them, actually 12 years, when I first met them, there were 6 partners. Then they did a split away to be 3 partners, and then down to 2. And who I met the other day was the sole practitioner. And he said something really interesting to me. He said, you know, over this journey, you know, he said, I've realized I'm a lone wolf and I don't want partners. I'm a sole practitioner. He said, I think my ideal business is 14 people, about $3 million in revenue, 60% net profit, and focus on niche markets, which is pretty much what you've just said. But for that particular firm, it took a while to get to that point. You know, you're already a sole practitioner. You've already got 14 people. You know, we just need to grow the revenue, and because the top line will become the bottom. The new top line will become the bottom line on the increase. So totally doable, and what a 4-year journey that will be. And maybe we'll catch up and do this interview again in the next 3 years and see how you've gone with that. Last question. And what advice, right? The advice to yourself 13 months ago was, I'll turn up to this seminar, I'll see what it's all about. I was interested in $1 million profit, and I won't buy anything, right? So that was the advice to yourself, right? What advice would you give now to other CPAs, other accountants around the world who may be watching this? What advice would you give?
The first thing I would say is zip it, because we give away too much for free. And give more kudos to my husband. He's been telling me that for years and years. And of course, he said it took Rob Nixon to make you believe what I've been saying for years. I'm like, yeah, whatever. We need to do that. Believe in yourself, believe you're worth it, believe your firm is worth it, and don't be afraid to free people's future up because they don't fit the model. You know what you want, you know what you're worth. And something I've believed in my entire life is don't do anything that wouldn't make your mother proud. So. Awesome.
Well, yeah. Looking forward to many, many years of interactions to come, some more golf as well, which would be great. And looking forward to you achieving what you want to achieve, particularly over the next 3 years. You know, this first year has been very much a building block year from what I understand. You know, foundation year. You know, get the foundations, the people, the clients, the processes right. And then from there, we can really start to grow this business. So, Debbie, congratulations to date.
Thank you.
And I'm super excited that we met, super excited that you've implemented and you've just got on and done it. So well done to you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And your team is awesome.
Thanks, Debbie.